Sergeant Abie Abraham is a 95-year-old World War II veteran and a survivor of the Bataan Death March. This is his story, and the story of so many service people who died as prisoners of war during World War II. A story that is told in Sergeant Abraham's own words. Abie Abraham was born in Lindora, Pennsylvania, July 31st, 1913. He enlisted in the Army in 1932.
Well, it was during the Depression. Nobody had any work. Father didn't have no work, and I wanted to go get a job, so I worked in the Spade shirt factory. They had about 1,000 windows. Cobwebs all over the thing, and them days give me about 25 cents an hour. Then he gave me hell. He said, "You better clean the windows a little better." I said, "Well, sir, good day." He said, "What do you mean good day?" I said, "I'm quitting." He said, "You're not quitting, you're fired." So I went to a recruiting station, and they had me go back to Baller to fill my tooth there. And I went to report the recruiting station the following day. I passed the examination, because they were rejecting one man after the other. In other words, there were no vacancies. Everybody kept on re-enlisting, staying in the service. See? So it turns around, he looked me over, and them ways, I had the big arms. I did a lot of boxing. He said, "You boxer?" "Yes, sir." "Step aside." I stepped aside. I beat about 900 guys in. See? I said, "Boy, Hawaii, here I come." Hawaii, hula, 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 beach, wacky. The ship got in Panama. He said, "Abraham, get up." I said, "Oh, no, I'm going to Hawaii." He said, "Oh, no, you're not. You're on the assigned army." So I ended up 2 years in Panama. I loved it. I was in the jungles.
Sergeant Abraham was initially stationed with the 18th Infantry in New York. He then joined the 14th Infantry in Panama, where he was a lightweight boxing champ and trainer. He went on to the 15th Infantry in China and the 30th Infantry in Presidio, San Francisco, before joining the 31st Infantry in Manila, Philippines, where he served for 9 years.
Can you kind of hit us some highlights of your time in the service? Some of the places you were, what you did while you were in the Army, and some things that happened.
Well, from Panama, I come in, and then I got my, went on a big maneuver. I was assigned to 1850, the 1st Division crack outfit, and after about 1 year, I put in for assignment to China, you know. I didn't stay in China too long. Japs sunk the Panay in the Yangtze River. Actually, Japan did not sink the Panay in the Yangtze River. As history states it, what happened was a Japanese soldier would try to take over, and they shipped him to China, and he won ordered the attack on the Panay. In fact, the Japanese government threw him in jail for 20 years, see. Then from there, got back the whole outfit was ordered back to the States, so they wouldn't start an incident, you know. Turned around at Fort Lewis, Washington, and I transferred the 3rd Infantry to San Francisco. Then from there, I got my assignment the Philippines there, see. Supposed to be there a couple years. I ended up with 9 years there, see.
In 1942, General MacArthur was ordered by President Roosevelt to leave the Philippines. We have all heard his infamous response to the troops left behind, "I shall return." But for the men left behind at Bataan and Corregidor, he did not return.
So, Abie, talk to us about how you became a prisoner of war and your time as a prisoner.
How I became a prisoner of war? It's a long story. The American government went on there with the Philippine government. They picked the kids off the street. That you're in the Army now. Half of them didn't have shoes. They never fired a rifle. Didn't have uniforms. They're part of the Army. Actually, the only trained regiment you had with My op at the 31st Infantry and 2 Scout regiments. That's the only trained infantry troops over there. And here we're fighting Japanese. When the Japs caught out a plane on the Clark Air Force Base, these 80 ships, Japanese ships, landed without the shot being fired at them. So they got us to a little gap. In fact, I'd say about 80% of men already had dysentery and malaria. And Japanese came in day and night, bombing us, artillery shells. We didn't have no protection. No planes to keep. If we had 2 planes, strafe and keep off our back, we'd been happy. We didn't have it all day long. And finally, towards the end, they had a little gap. The line broke. The Philippines took off. I didn't blame them. And, my op moved up, tried to stop it. It was too late then. The line was really broken. And as we went on back, Japanese planes dropping bombs on us. So that's it. We end up prisoner of war, a fluky war. If I had 10 sergeants, fixed 10 sergeants, I could run that whole battalion quicker than they could. Stupid people I've seen there. We sent out 60 mortars, no shells. I threw 5 hand grenades in the Japanese in the cave, not one exploded. Then we had on the island Mindanao. Mindanao was in our hands, we had submarines. We could have sent the submarines down to Mindanao, brought the chinchona bark. That's what you make a quinine from. So here in Bataan, 75% have malaria. Why didn't they bring the bark? That's it. That was the one messed up war.
From 1942 to 1945, there were tens of thousands of men captured and housed in prison camps as a result of the fall in Bataan and Corregidor. The 90-mile death march from Mariveles to Camp O'Donnell took 6 days, and thousands of men died along the road, with many of the deaths at the hands of their Japanese captors. One prisoner, Sergeant Abie Abraham, lived to tell his horrifying experiences on the death march.
I have that all in my book here, you know. It's funny though, you can figure out the Japanese. One group, there were no Japanese guard, not a group. They didn't bother you. One group would fall down, they bang, 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 and not get like as we marched in the heat, temperature that day was 102 degrees. As we go past the flowing wells, we wasn't allowed to stop drinking water. So we had Corporal Cox and another fellow. They wanted to relieve themselves. They went to the side of the road. They shot him. Not place, the kid, the crying, mother, side of the road, he's bleeding. Johnny turned around and shot him in the head. Another spot, I seen Lieutenant Hayes and Sergeant McIlvain, friends of mine. They fell down before we can pick them up. Johnny turned around and ended up shooting them like that. It's all. There's nothing you can do about it. But mostly, some guys rush their phone well to get a drink of water, they end up shooting them. See, you can't go 4 or 5 days without water like that in that heat, you know. Especially one with malaria, you have to have the water cool you off, you know. I think God let me live to accomplish the mission, and that mission would return back to Bataan. This turned all the graves there. See, while in the prison camp. Well, I'll tell you a little that from the beginning. As we end up at San Fernando, steel boxcars, temperature 102 degrees, they put 100 in each boxcars. We start screaming, give us aid, give us aid. We could get it, we couldn't breathe. A couple hours later, the train stopped, we got out. We had 5 dead Americans suffocated. Then we marched another 8 miles to Camp O'Donnell. We had to wait in that hot sun till the camp commander came. So the Japanese commander came out there. He said, I hate all you Americans. If one you escape, we'll shoot 9. The lieutenant, they call it squad, blood brothers, you see. They released us, and our shack was neat as shacks. The roof was leaking, bamboo sleds cutting your back. No blankets, no, had nothing. Men would shake with malaria. And we started losing 20, 30, 40 a day. We couldn't even, Japanese give us any medicine. They kept on doing it. And all we did, dig graves, dig graves, dig graves. And finally, after 2 months, we lost 1,600 Americans right at O'Donnell. They moved us to Commander One, and that's the worst camp I've ever seen. All day long they had it working, you straightened up your back, they beat you. Then another place they shipped us to Nichols Field. A lot of men tried to get their legs, arm broken to get off a detail. It was a slaving. You couldn't straighten up your back, the lack of food and lack of sleep. Some even tried to put their foot on the tires of the truck and wheel it, get off our detail. So finally back to Commander One, more dead. We start losing 20, 30, 40, 50 a day there. And that camp got worse. We had 3 officers crawling through the ditch line. Commotion brought the Japanese guard, and the Japanese guard turned on and shot the whole 3. I got the name mentioned in my book here. So they said, we got to form a guard, keep the men from escaping. If you escape, where are you going to go? So Captain Wall said, to Captain Weinstein, said, I want Abraham to be sergeant of guard. So Weinstein came up and said, I want you to be sergeant of guard. I said, you can't. Yes, I could. I said, no, you can't. I'm a patient. He said, I'll put you in duty in 2 minutes, 2 seconds. So I took over sergeant of guard there. The first night, 1 man missing. Japanese came in to fix bayonets, and they were ready to murder every one of us. What happened, this boy slept near the latrine. He made 14 trips back and forth to his barracks. He got tired walking back and forth. That's why he slept by the latrine. Well, at least that saved us. Yeah. Especially the 9 other men in the squad there, yeah. But we begged for food. We can get it all. Red Cross came in and gave us a lot of stuff, but Japanese took biggest part of that, you know. Then at one time, we had 6 men traded through the fence at Commander One. They weren't trying to escape, they were trying to get more food. Japanese turned around, grabbed the guys, executed the whole 6. I got their names in the book.
Another chapter of Sergeant Abraham's story is what his family experienced during World War II, as they also were prisoners of the Japanese and held in the Santo Tomas internment camp. It is best recalled by 10-year-old Joan Elizabeth Bennett, who wrote this testimony shortly after she and her family were liberated by American soldiers in 1945.
It is hard for us 500 children of Santo Tomas to realize we are free. But we know something wonderful has happened, and now we are able to shout and laugh again. I was not quite 8 when the war started. Mostly I remember our house being crowded with people who were bombed out of their own homes, and our attempt to have a Christmas. Christmas Eve, 1941, we had a little party in the house around a tree for all the children of the neighborhood. Other Christmases were not so nice. After the Japs came into Manila, they came and got Daddy and took him away. We had no chance to say goodbye to him. Our second Christmas was made glad because we had a part in sending truckloads of gifts to our soldier friends from Bataan. The generosity of the Filipinos was wonderful, and gifts reached the prison camp safely, Christmas morning, 1942. In April of the next year, Daddy was released, and we joined him at Santo Thomas. Food got less and less, and people began to grow thin. The people got awfully hungry, and what do you think they did? They collected all the recipes they could find of good things to eat and talked about them all the time, even the children and men. At the end of the war, the Japs began to get very mean. People, even children, fainted because they didn't have enough to eat, and everyone looked like a skeleton, or else was very swollen because the food was not right. But the American air raids began, and the people began to get a little more hope. Finally, the Americans came in, and now everything is all right, although sometimes we still can't believe it. We hear lots of shooting around us, but the kids don't pay much attention. We are more interested in all the good things to eat. Just think, today we had real butter and bread.
We had a lot of brave men. We had a lot of cowards among the officers. They kept the records in headquarters there, and turned around and they have a list of names. This guy died with malaria. My record shows he was executed. See, and that's what I did on the General Homer trial. All the Americans said that many died. Who? Many died. Who? Many died. That's all I kept on saying. So General Don got mad. He said, he told Turtles, he said, go to Bataan, bring Abraham in. He had to drive over 100 miles. It came down and said, you wanted in Manila against the Homer trial. I said, okay. I got in. All the reporters met me, and they said, what are you going to say? I said, I don't know. So I got in there, and Bates King, the defendant Homer, he's rough. He said, you're going to be like this guy? Say, how many died? I said, no, sir. I said, I'm going to tell you who they are. And at that time, I was already disengaged for 6 months. I started naming, and I named one spot at San Fernando. Filipino came up to the sergeant. We dug a big hole. I said, what was in that hole? He said, I don't know. I said, sure. He showed me where the hole was. So I thanked him. I went about 5 miles, and I turned around and my Filipino said, where you going to? I'm going back. What was in that hole? I went back that Major Swanson and 17 bodies I recovered. They did this further. I said they were executed. So and that's why I had to depend on all the Filipinos. Yeah. Like on the march at San Fernando, they came out by the hundreds. About chicken, rice balls, water. Filipinos, they really loved the Americans. And Japanese bayoneted a lot of them, kept them away. But they were there for us, so good people there. See.
In January of 1945, Sergeant Abraham and approximately 500 American prisoners were rescued by the U.S. Army 6th Ranger Battalion, which was a brave and heroic mission.
It's funny how it happened. After we were liberated by the Rangers, God was on our side. Not too far away, that time the Japanese soldiers. Here we was in 30 miles in Japanese lines. We didn't see not one Jap tank, not one soldier, not one plane. How you like that? God's on the side. But as we hit the American lines, a plane came up. I said, oh, not now. Actually, it's in our video, the Great Raid. It was one of our planes. He raided it. Next thing we had about 20 planes circling. They said, they dirty Japanese brought us now. As we hit the American lines, high on the hillside was the American flag. We weren't ashamed. Every man broke down crying, tears in their eyes. See.
Our American soldiers were finally returning home, all except for Sergeant Abraham.
They started shipping the guys back to the States. I told Colonel Smith, Colonel, how about me? There's nothing on you. I said, yeah, I'm 2 years longer than them guys. I was ready to be sent back to the States. A week later, same thing. So finally, one day, Colonel said, my staff car will take you to Manila. Imagine me riding the staff car. They usually tell you to get in the back of the damn truck in the back seat. So I got to Manila, and the WAC camp said, can I have something? I said, yeah, I'm supposed to see a colonel. She said, who? I said, I don't know. She, what this army you coming to? I said, all I said, report, I'll see the colonel. So she said, she asked the colonel, send him in. Do you know who that guy is? I get in, I looked. Colonel Darling, last time I seen him was a captain. He's a colonel now. See what happened, MacArthur wanted one man, can't be no outsider. It had to be somebody who was on the death march, who knew the area and so forth. And that's what Colonel Darling, in charge of the recovery section, kept me from being back to the States. They finally told me, I got the man for you, so 2 days later I report to MacArthur. No big deal. He picks his nose and scratches his family like anybody else. And turned around and he said, I was kind of leery, you know. I said, it's not for me. He said, see them type of letters, they all want to know about their families. I said, I'll stop the sign them. 2 days later, I reported to headquarters, and I was signed to General Campbell's unit. I moved into battalion. Before I moved into 10, I had the fear in me. I'm shaking. I said, how am I going to look at a pile of bones of guys I knew in flesh? I couldn't sleep all that night. Then finally, I had to get used to it. The first boy that got all bones, I'm like this. Then I said, I better settle down or else I go wacko. That's what I did. Then I picked up my Filipino crews, and that's it. We went all over picking up bodies and on a death march. See what happened. The Filipinos, Japanese took everything out of them, iron and all that. And the Filipinos said, Sergeant, we need our hospital repaired. You get it done. So I got a bunch of cartons there. I'm always signing phony notes. We repaired the hospital. I got them beds, I got them medicine, I got them all that. And they wanted a generator for lights for all the tents. See, Japs, they took everything. See, I got them that, I got them a generator for the ice plant. I got them a lot of food, a lot of clothing, the whole 15 towns there. But I had to depend on them. After March, they're the ones buried the bodies. And you know, when I interrogate them at night, so they go with me, show me the bodies in the morning, they won't take no pay. Not the kind of people were. They had great love for the Americans, I see. Yeah.
After leaving the Philippines, Sergeant Abraham continued in the military until retiring after 30 years of service. 20 years ago, he began volunteering at the Butler VA Medical Center and has logged over 36,000 hours of service. At the age of 95, he still works at the Butler VA 8 hours per day, 5 days per week.
I visited the guy one day and he had tears in his eyes. He's so happy to see me. What it is, they don't see nobody hardly at all, just the nurses come in there. And I said, that's my calling card. So I said, I want volunteers. So today I got over 36,000 hours of 20 years, 5 days a week, 9 hours a day. Well, what my job consisted information. One information is, I am more of a military advisor more than the VA is. That's my line of work. Guys want to put in for Purple Heart, upgrade the military organization, they want play card for cards. I got the forms for that. Benefit like me, I'm a POW. I get a lot of benefits.
What kind of benefits?
Well, that increased my disability. See, that's one thing about it. One thing about it, I don't have to pay taxes on that, see. but I get free medication and so forth, see. That's a lot of benefits. It helped out so many thousands of boys. Like some guys only spend only $8 outside the same medication, maybe $200-300. See, VA takes care of your life. I helped sign up a lot of guys on that, and some guys said, "What benefits I get?" But they don't realize that later on you might need a heart operation transplant. You ain't got no money, you don't have to worry about it. The VA takes care of it. See, there's a lot of benefits in that, see.
The sacrifices made and the heroism shown by Abie Abraham and his fellow prisoners